What's going on, guys? Today is a rainy, ugly day, and I was inspired by Evan Ranft to take advantage of it and go outside and do some rainy day street photography. So check it out. Okay, we are downtown Baton Rouge and we are parked right in front of the state capitol. And immediately when I got out of the car, I tried to get this shot because here you pretty much never get to see the fog and clouds right over the top of the buildings. We don't have that many tall buildings in the first place. So when we get to see things like that, I wanted to make sure I took a picture of it. The shot came out okay. I think I could have been a little more creative with it. Let's move on. So after that shot, I decided to go a little closer and see if I can get it from another angle. Maybe that might have worked better. So once I took the shot, it was a little bit more interesting because you had the path going along the left side and then the building kind of on the right side. But so it is a little more interesting than the first picture. So I guess that's a good thing. Now as I turned around, I noticed a girl walking to her car with an umbrella in her hand. So I snapped this picture as quick as I could. It's not really anything interesting, but it caught my eye, so I took it. And then when I turned my head to the left, I saw a man walking his dogs. And I had to kind of wait for the right moment, but once I captured the picture, this is what I got. And I wish the other dog was kind of closer to him, but it is what it is. So leaving that location, I was riding on the sidewalk and I noticed two people walking into a building. I snapped a picture of them because the red on her jacket and the umbrella was sticking out. So I think this picture came out pretty nice overall. I wish I was a little more centered on them, but if I would have waited and moved positions, I would have lost them in the frame. So I just took the picture as I got it. That's the kind of thing with street photography. You kind of just got to go with the flow. So as I moved on, I noticed the top of the church and I figured it would look nice with the red light sitting right there. So I kind of angled myself to where I can see the red light, the street sign, and the church in the back. So this picture came out decent. It's nothing special. It's kind of generic. So moving on. Now right here, I tried to catch a picture of some people with some nice rain jackets on, but I didn't get the camera out in time and they turned around the corner. So I ended up missing this shot. Now here things get a little funny because I'm on the Segway and it's raining outside. I usually ride the Segway when I'm out taking pictures downtown or something like that because I bought the Segway to not have to walk all over the place and to help me when I'm filming and stuff like that. So that's why I'm on the Segway, and rain is usually not a problem, but in this situation, I kind of went over the door sill wrong and so after that, I immediately got up, looked left, looked right, nobody saw it, moved on with my life. My hand was kind of hurting, but I went up the elevator to the top story of the parking garage to see what I can see from up there. Now when I get up there, I immediately see I have another shot of the state capitol, so I tried to grab this one to see what it comes out like. This one isn't bad, but it's kind of boring like the first one. I definitely like the second one that I took a little better than this one. So moving on. I look to my right, I see the church again, so I snap a picture. I think it has a little more character than the picture that I took on the ground. Immediately after taking that picture, I looked down on the ground and I noticed some bike wrecks. It kind of looked good from the angle I was at, so I went on and snapped the picture and I got this. And I think that's a pretty interesting picture. I wish maybe someone was walking through it or something like that along the top side, but it's a pretty interesting picture. I like it. Now immediately after that picture, I looked to my right and I saw the building had 440 on 3rd written on the side of it because it's on 3rd Street. So I took that picture because I never really noticed that before. And the picture's not anything special, but it's definitely something I never really noticed before on this building. And after that picture, I looked on the street and I saw two cars parked by themselves along the side of the street. So I took a picture of that. It's kind of interesting because there's a white building on the side and it kind of draws your attention to the cars. But other than that, it's nothing really special. Now I've already taken about 4 or 5 pictures in this one spot, so I'm ready to move on. But then I see this light pole and I kind of had to take a picture of it. I wanted to get it like symmetrical and everything like that just to see how it come out. It's not too bad. It's interesting. It's kind of symmetrical, so kind of caught my eye. Now I finally leave that spot and I go check the other side of the parking garage and I see a parking garage that is across the street with some steam coming up from it. So I decided to take a picture of that. And the picture is just kind of interesting. It's not really anything too crazy, but it's a lot of things going on with the shapes of the buildings and stuff like that. The sky is like completely misty and foggy because it's raining. I moved a little further down and I saw the train tracks in the background, so I decided to take a picture of the trains. But it didn't really come out like I wanted it to, so I kind of moved on from that spot. I moved to the third side of the parking garage and I noticed that the building across the street had this like little landscape area on top of the parking garage for that building. So I never knew that I was up there, so I took a picture of it. Now I kind of like this picture because like I said, I never knew this was up there. So this picture is kind of just me documenting something that I did not know existed. Now as I backed out from that picture, a yellow truck that was parked on the road down the street kind of caught my eye, so I took a picture of it because it was standing out. Now I like this picture because there's a lot of things going on, but the truck still catches your attention because of the color of it. So I think that's a pretty good picture. I started to move further down and I tried to take a picture of the bridge, but since it's so far away and it's like raining, it doesn't really come out like I wanted it to. And you can see that the river is like completely covered in fog, so the weather is really nasty outside. But because the weather is like it is, I never got to take a picture like this, so I kept it anyway. When I turned around to go back to the Segway, I noticed the IBM building was looking kind of nice from the angle that I was on, so I took a picture of it. I kind of like how it's brick on one side and glass on the other, so it's a texture difference and a color difference, so I think that's a pretty good picture. Now as I was looking at that picture, a man walked outside of the balcony across the street, and I tried to catch a picture of it, but he walked back in, so I just waited on it for a little while and he kind of came back out. So in the picture you can kind of see him in the trees with a gray sweatshirt on, but he never stepped out far enough to get like a real good image of it. Now I finally hopped back on the Segway, and as I was leaving I decided to try the same thing I just did with the bridge with this barge that was sitting in the middle of the river. And kind of the same thing happened. It's raining and it's so far away and I can barely see it with my own eyes. So when I took the picture, it didn't really come out like I wanted it to, but once again, it's different from anything I would have gotten in good weather, so that's why I kept this picture. So now I'm on the last side of the parking garage and I'm looking around trying to see if anything's happening on the street. Nothing's really going on, but I do spot a flag that's flapping on top of a building, so I took a quick shot of that. I really don't know what to think about this picture. It's kind of cool, it's kind of boring at the same time. But I didn't know there was a flag up there, so that's one thing. Now as I'm heading back to the exit, I notice I have one more shot I can take of the state capitol, so I try to snap a shot. I've been trying to get a cool shot of the capitol this entire time, and this shot is pretty interesting. The second shot and this shot probably are my favorites so far. Now I'm headed back, went down the elevator, I'm back at the spot where this happened, and I realized the staircase is right there, and I always want to take a picture of the staircase, so I snapped the picture in two different angles. The first angle I thought was kind of cool, so then I switched it up and I switched sides and I made the picture vertical and I got this shot. I'm kind of torn between the two on which one is cooler. I'm kind of leaning towards the second one, but I like both of them. Now as I carefully leave to make sure that this doesn't happen again, I head down the street and I see someone walking across the street with a yellow umbrella. And I got this shot at the very last moment right before they stepped on the sidewalk. Once again, you have a yellow object sticking out just like the truck was earlier, even though I do think the truck stood out more, but this is not a bad picture nonetheless. Now I'm crossing the street, headed to a parking garage, and I noticed the Chase building also had the clouds sitting low over the top. So I took a picture of that. So this is a pretty interesting shot, especially since it's something that we don't usually see too often in this city. As I make my way out of the parking lot, I'm looking around for something to happen. I noticed this car coming down the street, so I stopped on the side of the road and I waited for it to get into the right spot, and I snapped the picture. This is a pretty decent shot. We have the Coca-Cola sign in the top corner. The car is coming down the street, so that gives me a subject. You can clearly see that the road is wet, so it's a rainy day, and good composition, so it's overall a good picture, even though it's not anything very special happening. I'm passing by these people, and since I'm on the Segway, I'm used to getting a lot of people staring at me, even though that's usually not what we try to do when we're taking street photography. So here, there's a group of people that are walking, and I'm trying to get a good shot of them, but it's just not lining up like I wanted it to. So I tried to move further down and still didn't get anything that I wanted, so I kind of ended up passing on that. But as I sat at the street corner, I saw two people walking up, and I assumed that it was probably going to end up crossing the street. So I sat there and waited, and sure enough, they did walk across the street, so I was ready. And when they got to the right spot, I took the picture. I like this picture because it's an action shot. You can see that they're clearly walking forward, and the umbrella signifies this is a rainy day, and it all worked out just nice. Now as I moved on, I noticed that they stopped on the side of the building to see what materials the building was made of, and I wish I would have stayed and waited for this if I would have known it was going to happen, because I think that would have been a cool picture. But I made it around this corner and I saw some people unloading the truck that's further down the street, and I probably should have went further down the street to get a better shot of it, but I didn't plan on going down the street, so I didn't want to go that far down the street and ended up turning around to go back where I came from. So I snapped the picture as it is, and you can kind of see all of the bands that are going to be playing at the club on the left side of the screen. There are some stickers on the no parking sign, so pretty interesting picture, even though I don't think there's a really clearly defined subject in it. Now I'm heading down the street and I'm not taking any more chances with the Segway. Even though I know I could have made it up this hill, I still got off of it just because there are people around and I did not want to fall like I did earlier. At this point, I'm pretty much done, so I'm headed back to the car, and I have one more chance to get another shot of the Capitol before I leave, and I took this, and it's better than the first picture, so I think I have maybe 2.5 good pictures of the building. I don't feel like I got one that just like nailed it, but I do have at least 1 or 2 solid ones that are good enough to show. If you guys enjoyed this kind of content, just let me know and I'll try to get more of this kind of stuff done for you guys. It's more behind the scenes and in depth of what I was thinking and stuff like that on the photo shoots. So if you like those kind of videos, please leave it in the comment section down below. Be sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.